October 2022 saw the return of the AI in Games Jam, a community-led event in which game developers of all shapes and sizes can participate for 1 week. The only catch is you have to submit a game that fits our theme and has some form of AI in it. The AI can be as super complicated as you like, but also as simple as possible. So in this video, I'm going to wrap up this year's event and take a look at some of my favourite games from the Jam and encourage you to go check them out if you haven't already. The theme this year was isolation, an idea that on the surface seems a little on the nose, given, that game y'all might have heard of. But I stand behind it as an interesting theme, particularly given that we ran the Jam at Halloween this year. It was funny, actually, as some folk pointed out, that it was good I didn't use this theme last year, given they felt it could tie into a lot of the narratives prescient during the COVID lockdowns. This is amusing to me, given that last year's theme, Breaking the Rules, was actually a reference to a very particular f***wit in British politics that sowed his own downfall for breaking the very rules he established, but no matter. So yeah, the theme of isolation allows for people to play with it in different ways. Some opted towards the route of the player being physically isolated, be it in the setting or that they're alone against some kind of opposing enemy force. Others took it as an opportunity for reconnecting, with the idea to stop being isolated from others, either by saving other characters, dating simulators, and what I can only describe as haunting simulators. It speaks to the creativity of the community that we didn't just get a bunch of Amnesia or Alien Isolation clones, though it's worth saying we did get some fun horror games in there too. Now let's get into the fun stuff, the games themselves. I went ahead and played the top 50% of submissions, and from that I derived my own list of favourites. These were the games that caught my attention and that I really fell in love with when trying them out. So without further ado, let's check out the games. I think it's worth starting with a mention for our number one game in the public ranking, and that's this interesting twist on Solitaire. Plays on the themes of isolation by telling a story in the cards and the selection of the cards themselves. Naturally, I won't spoil it for you, but it gets into some pretty real places. As the developer states, there is an underlying AI model that is making mistakes about what cards are where and how to respond, though I didn't quite grasp that personally as I played it. Plus, all the graphics for people and cats that you see on the cards are created using a generative adversarial network, a style GAN, in order to create the appropriate art style, which is a nice touch and an interesting spin on the rules for using AI for the Jam. I don't want to spoil the actual story that takes place here. Yes, there's an actual story while playing Solitaire, so if you want to know more, go play the game. Ambidextro is a cool little puzzle game that uses actual AI and twists it for a fun gameplay mechanic. This here little robot is being powered by a planning AI that executes actions in a sequence, but you decide what the rules are for whether it can execute a given action. In fact, some of the puzzles require the robot to be in a particular state in order to cross a hazard, hence you need to decide how to model the preconditions of the planning action successfully. This is a really cool idea, and I'm very excited to play it some more. A very interesting puzzle game in which you feel like you're being haunted all the way through it. The Horror Museum has you visit an art gallery in which many of the art pieces were generated using AI tools. Meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of jump scares, lights going out, creepy people in your periphery, and more being controlled by an AI system. If you're looking for a horror game, I think this is the one to check out. Isolating Waters is probably my personal favourite in terms of its overall presentation and gameplay. A dark and atmospheric game as players try to unpick a mystery at the bottom of the ocean. It's actually a puzzle game, with a procedural generation system running under the hood that generates new puzzles for you each time you play. It's a fantastic achievement overall, and ranks both as one of my favourite games of the Jam, but was also number 2 in the overall public rankings. I absolutely love this, and I don't want to spoil it for you too much. Go play this game. The award for Best Roguelike goes to, well, Roguelike. This is a fun and conceptually simple game of running around in mazes, collecting keys and using them to reach the exit. It's not doing anything particularly fancy, but what it does do, it delivers with a crisp aesthetic and a lot of polish. Very cool game. After I said it in the theme announcement, someone went and made a dating simulator. In Compicactus? Compicactus? I'm not sure how to pronounce this. You're effectively dating a computer, which, isn't weird at all, but you use a basic lexicon for sentence structure allowing you to greet one another, ask each other questions, and respond to questions raised by the other character. It even pays attention to how one-sided the conversation is and whether you're talking too much about yourself and not asking enough questions of the other person, or the other machine, I guess. It's inspired by classic AI-driven narrative games like Versu, a topic I really need to cover on AI in games at some point, and uses a database that reflects an ontology of objects and concepts for the system to understand. Plus, it also uses a utility AI to decide on how it answers and even what questions it raises, A really cool idea that could be expanded out more in the future. Roko's Basilisk is a fantastically put together puzzle game about using different tools to eliminate viruses infecting the circuitry of your spaceship. There's an overarching narrative of an AI trying to help you by, well, trying to kill you, I guess. But the puzzle game itself is great and very interesting, with an AI opponent controlling the viruses that infect your system. I thoroughly enjoyed this and would love to see more. The award for Best Dead by Daylight pun goes to Dead by Roguelight, in which players have to stop a group of friends from escaping a park environment by exposing them with your flashlight. There's quite a few parallels here with the asymmetric horror game Dead by Daylight, and as someone who's played far too much of that game in the past 2 years, I am here for it. The friends you're playing hide and seek with are all trained using deep reinforcement learning and are designed to avoid your flashlights and then sneak around to the exit when they can. It's a pretty tough game at first, I won't lie, in that I found the best tactic was just to be a filthy camper, and I am not ashamed to admit it. The award for Most Riveting Game for Live Streaming is Dark Isolation, a game that takes place entirely in the dark until you die at the hands of whatever creepy thing that is chasing you. It's a game where you're being chased by a ghost in a maze, but you can't see anything, and instead have to rely on your sense of sound. I won't lie, I kept waiting for some kind of horrid monster to appear on the screen when I died, akin to something like the game Devour on Steam, but the game mercifully doesn't do that. That said, as you can see here, I played most of it trying really hard not to look at the monitor. Untitled Dinosaur Game is the only game submitted to the 2022 Jam that made me emotionally distraught, because I got distracted for 2 minutes and my little Tamagotchi-style dinosaur straight up died on me. I'm not quite over that just yet. I mean, good job, it's an interesting game, you should keep working on it, but also how could you do this to me? Despite the name, the inspiration for Alone in the Dark is actually Dishonored, with enemies that use a basic finite state machine that react to local stimuli when they see or hear the player. Meanwhile, the player can avoid being spotted, hide in particular areas, dodge traps, and use items to create distractions or straight up kill the enemy. There's a lot going on here, and it's really well done. Super impressive stuff. Go give it a shot. And that's everything that I wanted to highlight for now. Like I say, do go and check out all the games that have been submitted, there's some really awesome stuff. I mean, looking back on the Jam personally, there's some highs and lows. It's been great to see new people participate, and once again, the games submitted, as we've seen throughout this video, are pretty amazing. I'm really blown away with the hard work of so many people, but there were some logistical hurdles. Notably in that we ran the Jam 5 months later than we did last year. I simply had too much going on in life in order to conceivably prep and host the game Jam, and I think that impacted the numbers, given the summer is a good time to host it. We only had around a quarter of the signups this year, though I think that was due to a lot of groups only having one registered user. Fortunately, the drop in games was only around 50%, so less signups but more games per sign-up, so that was cool. But hey, these are minor gripes, as we still had lots of participants who clearly enjoyed the experience, and I call that a win. As before, I'm taking feedback on this, as I hope we can run another event in 2023 and continue to support the community to do fun and crazy things. I mean, if anything, it's a great excuse for people to come together and make awesome stuff. I mean, we really can't argue with that now, can we? Thanks once again to everyone who participated, be it those who made their games, supported others in our Discord server, our Jaminators for moderating the chat feeds, our players on itch.io who came on board to try out and rate all the games. It's a huge effort required from a lot of people, and I hope you all had a great time. Plus, of course, a thank you to the Patreon community, who are the drivers behind this event taking place to begin with, and of course, for their continued support in all things AI in games. Oh, and a special thank you, of course, to, you actually watch the videos and help, support this kind of nonsense. With that, it's time to wrap up for this year. If you haven't tried out the games yet, but fancy giving it a shot, the Jam page continues to stay live over on itch, and they're free to try out at any time. Plus, if you want to see more of my time spent trying out these games, head on over to my second channel, where I've prepared some long play videos of my time spent with each game that I played, also reacting to them as I go. Apologies to anyone whose game I haven't played yet, hopefully I can carve out some time to do so soon. And with that, programming will resume as normal, starting with our next video as we get back to looking at the inner workings behind some of your favourite games. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be back.